Ride along each week as we share proven strategies to strengthen your business, energize your team, and create the business success you've been dreaming about. And now, here's your host, Rich Allen.
Does your customer service make your customers tell everyone about it? Welcome to the Ultimate Business Tune-Up Podcast, where our one and only goal is to help you tune up your business so you can have the long-lasting success and fulfillment that comes from owning a solid, profitable, and sustainable business. Each week, we dive deep into a single topic related to improving your business, improving your team engagement, or improving your relationship with your customers. This week, I want to challenge you to up your game when it comes to your customer service. We're all familiar with some of the gold standard companies when it comes to customer service. I'm not sure which companies come to mind to you right away when you think about the best customer service in their industry, but a couple come to my mind right away. In the automotive industry, it's hard to beat the Sewell brand of dealers. Sewell Cadillac, Sewell Lexus, Sewell BMW, or Sewell Infiniti. Just mention the name Sewell to anyone who's familiar with automobiles, and they'll agree with you that they have the best customer service in their industry. When I ask my wife, she immediately responds with Nordstrom's, the high-end department store that's legendary for accepting returns from their customers for products they didn't even sell. To be honest, it's hard to compete when they set their standards that high. So what about your business? Have you set a high standard in the area of customer service? My question for you this week was, does your customer service make your customers tell everyone about it? I'm asking this question because I think it's a great way to determine if your customer service experience is truly unique and memorable. And let's be clear, I'm not talking about a customer service experience that is so bad that your customers tell everyone about it. I'm talking about just the opposite. Is the experience your customers have when they engage with your team members so good that they can't help themselves to have to share it with others? It's a great standard to strive for, and one that honestly most business owners will never expect from their team. But if you did make this a priority and a focus for your team, you might just change the trajectory of your business and garner some very positive feedback along the way. Here's how I know. My wife and I recently stopped by our internet provider store to take care of some urgent phone and TV issues. I had made the decision to finally cut the cable and move to streaming services for our TV channels. Yes, I'll admit it, I've been pretty slow to make the move, but after running both satellite service and streaming services side by side for several months, we were convinced that it was the right thing to do. So I booked an appointment to meet with a customer service rep at our local store. Meanwhile, the night before our appointment, we took our 3-year-old grandson to a water park as part of our 3-day Lady and Gramp camp. I'll save you the details on the Lady and Gramp camp. Let's just say that our goal was to go full out with our grandson for 3 days, which meant when we got to the water park, I was all in on letting the water feature shower me as my grandson laughed and played along. It didn't take long for me to realize that I had left my wife's cell phone in my pocket while I was running in and around the water park. Needless to say, the cell phone got wet, and when we went to charge it that evening, the charging port wouldn't activate due to the moisture. So when we arrived at the internet provider store for our appointment, we had not only one issue to resolve, but we had a couple of new ones related to our phones. We walked into the store with my wife's dead cell phone just 5 minutes before our scheduled appointment time, and were greeted at the front door by our customer service representative. He took us promptly to a workstation where he could help us with our issues. His demeanor was friendly and helpful, and his focus was 100% on our situation and our concerns. While the store was active and even a bit loud, he never lost focus of the customers that were sitting right in front of him. As we laid out our concerns and requests, he confidently and methodically began to resolve each of them. He took my wife's cell phone and found a way to recharge it while we were discussing and resolving other issues. He understood our desire to drop our satellite TV and helped us to begin the service shutdown process. Then he reviewed our account and asked about our coverages we had on the account. As he listened to our replies, he made recommendations and suggestions to get the most bang for our buck from the services we had. Then, like a magician performing a magic trick that would make you gasp for a breath, he did a quick search for comparable coverages in our service area and recommended that we cancel our service with them because there was a far better service available from another internet service provider in the area. Wait, what? The customer service rep was recommending that we not use their service, but rather cancel their coverage and sign up with their competitor? Yep, that's exactly what he did. As he listened to what we needed and compared it to what he had to offer us, he made the uncomfortable decision to recommend his competitor to us, rather than try to justify why his inferior service should be sufficient. And he did this without skipping a beat or without saying a negative word about his company. He simply acknowledged that there was a better product on the market, and while he hated to make the recommendation, he felt it was the best thing to do for his customer. Then, after walking us through his reasoning and the steps to take to activate a new service with his competitor, he smoothly went back to resolving the rest of our problems and concerns with products and services that he could deliver with confidence. After being satisfied that he had addressed each and every concern we had about our TV, our internet, and our phones, he handed us his business card and invited us to call him directly for anything that might come up after our visit. As we were getting up, my wife jokingly asked if he would come for dinner that evening as a way to repay him for his kindness and helpfulness. We shook hands, thanked him for his sincere and honest professionalism, and walked out shocked at what had just happened. We had been to that same store many times before, and our experience had never been this good. We had never had the complete focus of a qualified technician who had our best interests in mind. Most times, we found ourselves working with someone who was pushing new products and services to the point that we couldn't wait to leave. But not this time. Something very different happened. And as a result, we can't stop talking about the extraordinary customer service we received. I can promise you that while we did make the decision to change our internet provider as he recommended, we will likely never move the rest of our service coverages from his company. The actions of this one customer service rep lit a customer-for-life attitude in both of us. So here's my question for you. Does your customer service experience do the same for your customers? Do your customers talk about their experience working for your business for days and weeks beyond their encounter? What would have to change for that to happen in your business? Perhaps this is something worth discussing with your team and challenging them to stand out with your customers in a way that makes them stand in awe of their experience. To be honest, there's nothing more fulfilling from a customer's perspective than knowing with certainty that your every need has been met with professionalism and humility. Make that a priority for your customer service team and just watch how your customers become raving fans who can't help themselves but to tell everyone how great your company is. You don't have to be a Sewell Cadillac or a Nordstrom's to blow the socks off your customers. Just focus on them with your complete attention, make their issues bigger than your issues, and don't be afraid to recommend others if they truly have a superior solution. In the end, your customers will sing your praises and send you more and more customers as a result. If you'd like to discuss this topic further or bounce around a few ideas on how to incorporate this thinking into your customer service team, don't hesitate to reach out and ask. I'd enjoy brainstorming ideas that would fit well into your business model. Now, before we go, 2 quick asks. Share this podcast with your fellow business owners. I'm trying to get these free business tips to as many business owners as possible. I want every business owner to be successful, and this is my gift to you and to them. Thanks for passing this along. And lastly, please leave a review on this podcast. The more thumbs up this podcast gets, the more it will be found when someone's stuck or struggling and looking for advice. Your review can help make this happen. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure to tune in next week when we're going to discuss why your guarantee matters. You won't want to miss it. Meanwhile, if you have a question, suggestion, or would simply like to connect, shoot me an email at rich@tourtoprofit.com. Now go make it a great week, and whatever you do, ride hard.
Thank you for listening to the Ultimate Business Tune-Up. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. In the meantime, find more resources at tourtoprofit.com and connect with Rich by sending a message to rich@tourtoprofit.com. Until next time, ride hard.